Howdy, y'all.
Hi, guys.
It's Ryan.
And Angela.
From RNA Music.
That's right.
Your favorite mom and pop guitar shop deep in Hard, Texas. It's where we're at right now.
Yes.
And Music Lesson Studio, where we keep the music alive for all the children's.
For everybody.
And beginners of all ages, right?
Right.
So, it is Friday the 13th.
It is.
What month is this? September?
September.
Right? One of the evil months.
Sept.
And we are going to answer some questions because it's Ask RNA time.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. It's my favorite day of the week.
Every day of the year.
I think.
Treat yourself.
I think it is. All right. So we're going to answer some questions. Are you excited?
Yes.
I'm excited. Let's do this. You get there. Welcome to our channel. If you're new here, we do all kinds of stuff, mostly answer questions.
Mostly.
About guitars and music and all kinds of things.
We
do some lesson videos, unboxing videos, gear videos. We have a little music store in rural East Texas where we mostly teach lessons, actually.
Right.
Music Lesson Studio. And today, Angela and I are going to answer some questions.
That's right.
First question. Oh. If you would like to support our little channel, you can get some RNA Music swaggity swag, not Vola swag.
Sorry.
Not from us, but you can get some RNA swag from our Teespring store description below. Go check that out if you want to. If you're new here, subscribe, hit the bell so you'll get notified of all our videos. And now it's first question. Patsy Gangsta. I thought it was gangster.
Patsy.
Pasty? Pasty Gangsta. Pasty Gangsta? I feel like Bugs Bunny. Hansel? Hashtag Black Bean Burger. Question. I just acquired a Line 6 JTV-59 to run through a Helix LT.
Okay.
I currently only have a set of powered studio monitors for amplification. What would you suggest for a good amp to take advantage of the modeling capabilities without all the bells and whistles? An open back, closed back, solid state or not, hashtag
Baby got back.
Baby got back. All right, so the Line 6 JTV-59 is a guitar that has a...
I assumed so much. Really? I thought it was an
I'm-
accordion.
Not just a guitar, but it's got a buttload of built-in stuff. You can turn knobs and it makes it sound like different guitars. There's like digital modeling stuff built into the guitar. Yes, and the Helix is like a processor software thing that you get a crazy bunch of different sounds built in. It's like having 50 different amps all in one little thing. So I was thinking that's a lot of digital modeling right there just between the guitar and the Helix. What I was going to say, Pasty Gangsta is, Line 6 makes a little thing called the Power Cab 112, 12-inch speaker, like a 1x12 type of thing that's powered. I think that would work really well with the Helix. Seems like it was made specifically for that. So those run about 700-ish. $799, I think, in the USA.
Yeah.
For that thing. So that would probably work really well if you're wanting to not use like Probably work pretty well. Or you could just use like any clean amp that has a really lot of high volume headroom, clean headroom.
Like Max.
Yeah, like Max headroom. Max amps. Like a Hot Rod Deluxe or Hot Rod DeVille, any Fender based tube amp that's built on cleans, I think would work pretty good for you. So there you go. That's what I suggest. Pasty Gangsta. Next question. Multi-Sooner 1, not 2, not 4. Multi-Sooner 1. If a person is not going to gig or play in front of a lot of people, but just for their personal enjoyment, would you still recommend to them to learn how to read music or just learn tablature? Hashtag KTMA, hashtag Black Bean Burger.
Yes.
All right.
All the hashtags.
Know thyself, right? I think you got to know your goals, right? And know what you want out of your music life, right?
Yeah.
What do you want out of your cup?
Right.
Okay, so I think if that is your thing, you're just going to be sitting at home in your bedroom playing guitar. Even if not, I don't think you really necessarily, as a guitarist, need to learn to read traditional music notation. And in fact, I would say the majority of guitar players don't know how to read music notation. Most do not.
Right.
So, like big name, like platinum selling artists and musicians and bands don't know. Like you put sheet music in front of them, most could not play it. There are some who can.
Right.
And if you're a classically trained guitarist, a classical guitarist, like Rick Graham or somebody like that, those guys for sure know how to read real music.
Right.
But majority of guitar players don't. So even if you are going to be in a band or gig or play with other people, reading music notation is not necessary.
Right. The only thing that's necessary is being able to play multiple chords, I think. Or be just familiar with the chord changes or changing, or knowing how to either, what is it? What am I thinking?
Transpose.
Thank you. Oh my Lord! Why couldn't I think? I just even said that earlier today.
You were just talking about that.
Yes, and I was like, why can't I say it? I think that even just a little bit of understanding of it is okay, because if they're like, oh, that's too high for me, the singer is like, oh, that's a little bit too high or a little bit too low. You can't just like, all I know is G, C, D,
E minor. I lost my capo.
I think learning a broad, not some of those redonkulous chords that only people in Dream Theater can play, but it's like, or know or have, a need for, but, enough to where if they were like, oh, we're going to switch to the key of E, then you can be like, well, all I know is,
Right.
I think that, because I've seen that like really crash and burn with a lot of guitar players where they only know, the four or five basic chords, including like an A or something. And then whenever it goes into different, just changing just a slight, even if it's just a half step or a step, or whatever, then it's like, I don't know. I'll just play what I don't know. I'll just sit this one out.
You have experienced that, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Many a time.
Yeah.
But reading music? No. I agree with Ryan, 100%.
Yeah. It's just not that common of a thing for guitarists in pop music, right? Pop music being, like rock music, blues, country.
Pop, Bueller.
Yeah. Singer, songwriter,
anything
Americana.
On the radio, basically.
Yeah, radio stuff. Pop isn't just,
Britney Spears.
Oh, I was saying Britney Spears. You were in my brains.
You were going to say?
I wasn't saying. I was like, and I'm thinking, Britney Spears, I don't think really is relevant anymore. I was like, why is she the epitome of pop?
Was it Morgan or Megan Trainor? Is it Megan Trainor?
I do not know.
She's all about the bass. She's the one who does that song. Okay. Yeah.
She pop?
Yeah, she's pop.
She pop.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake's pop, right?
Yes, Justin Timberlake is pop. See, we know some. We're not that old.
Yeah. Pop.
Some of the things the kids are listening to.
Van Halen is pop music.
Yeah, they're very poppy.
It just means pop.
Aerosmith is pop music.
Metallica is pop music. If it's popular.
I think they have some songs that are pop music. Pop, but I wouldn't call them pop. Dirty. Yes. So.
Toxic pop.
So when having songs that that you're going to play that are in that category, learning how to read,
tablature is very useful, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
I think having a fairly broad knowledge of basic music theory concepts is super important, because you can know, like I've said, if someone said, hey, we're going to play a song in the key of B flat. Well, if you know like all of the chords that are in the key, so you're going to play B flats, you're going to play F chords, you're going to play, E flat major chords, right? You know what chords belong in the key of B flat, you know what scale shapes to use over that. that kind of stuff, like knowing what chords belong in what keys, how to transpose, on the fly if you need to, basic chord stuff. I think some what I call usable basic music theory is important. That way, if someone says, "Oh, hey, we're gonna do that, and that's wrong. Let's do this in a key of whatever." You're like, "Oh, okay, I know what that means." Right, but music theory, music notation isn't necessarily necessary for that. So, tab is super useful if you're gonna learn some things that are somewhat technical, more than just singer-songwriter strumming chords.
Right.
That stuff you can learn to pick out by ear, but more technical, riffy stuff or solos, the tablature helps out a lot for that. Hope that answered your question, multi-sooner, not 4, but number 1. Next question, Walking Dead 1369. Hashtag Black Bean Burger.
Hey.
And what it is, Walking Dead, is Walking Dead and Metalhead Hippie. I get confused. I get you two guys confused for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Walking Dead, Metalhead Hippie. I don't know.
It's the Ed.
It's the Ed in your names. I get y'all confused. So, anyways. So you have a budget of $1,000 and you want to pick up a guitar and an amp to do small gigs with. What would you choose?
Let it rip, Bubba. Let it rip.
Hurdy-dur.
Yeah, hurdy.
You can hear my pipes coming.
Yep.
Coming down the bend. All right. You're in East Texas.
Or the South.
Or the South. How loud are your truck pipes? I got some glass packs on my truck. You can hear me coming. I'm like, do I need to hear you coming?
Apparently.
I'd rather sneak up
so
on
I
some
can
folks.
run. So I can lock the door.
Keep out the door. I think we have covered this before.
But it's a fun
It's
question.
been a while, but $1,000.
1,000.
Well, probably I would buy a used Schecter because you can get a lot of bang for your buck on a used Schecter. I bought a used Schecter recently in the past few months. I haven't ever done an unboxing of it. I meant to. I haven't done it. I need to do that. Unboxing video of my new used Schecter. It was a killer deal. So here's the new guitar. We just got home from Tyler just a little while ago. It's a Solo 6 Custom. I've already took the strings off of it. Man, I'm really in love with the fretboard. It's real ebony. It's got that chocolatey, stripy goodness to it. The pickup ring that was on it was already cracked and busted, so I'm putting a new pickup ring on. And let me show you. It's a vintage, not the dark vintage Sunburst. That's a darker one. This is, I forget which one it is. It's a vintage Sunburst. I think it's the Honeyburst. I forget what it's called exactly. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, super cool. Seymour Duncan custom in the bridge, 59 in the neck, and we got it for a stupid good price. Like stupid good deal. And so that would have left me about $800 for an amp. So let's see, what amp? I got a Schecter Solo 6 Custom for a killer deal. So I'll use that. Amp wise, if I have about 800 bones left. Good question. You need something with enough volume to get the job done if you're going to gig. I prefer tube stuff personally. So I'm trying to think of something tube that fits into that price point. Tubes, which there's not a lot of. Used, used you can find some killer stuff too. So I've actually found I have found 1 or 2 Devil Cat amps in the used price. Not very many. They don't pop up very often. But I found a used Jimmy combo one time. I want to say for like maybe $800.
Oh, wow.
It was more than I was ready to spend. Battery's about to die. But I have found I got a killer Schecter for about, actually it was a little bit less than $200, but $200. It's like an $800 guitar I got for $200. Mm-hmm. And then I have found a Jimmy before, or a Jimmy Jr. used for the 800 range. So that would probably do it. Or, the orange solid state stuff that's 50 watt, 100 watt. That's pretty good too. I gotta change the battery on the camera. So there you go, Walking Dead. I think that's probably what I would do if my budget was $1,000. I definitely start looking at used. Mm-hmm. Usually, when I'm looking for myself, a lot of times I'm looking at used gear. If it's something I'm not a dealer for,
right,
I usually go for used gear first. But there you go. Thanks for the question. Walking Dead, not in Alaska.
Not in Alaska.
Not Alaska. Robert Hodges with the next question. While on the topic of covers you've heard, have you listened to Five Finger Death Punch's cover of Blue on Black? Though, is it a cover since they play it with Kenny Wayne Shepherd? # Black Bean Burger, # White People Food, # KTMA.
Yes.
I have not listened to Blue on.
Go ahead, spit it out.
I have not listened to Blue on Black. Mm-hmm. Five Finger Death Punch. Mm-mm. And Kenny Wayne Shepherd. I have not even really had the desire to go check that out. I'm not a big Five Finger Death Punch fan, personally.
Yeah.
I've heard some of their songs. Some of their stuff's come on rock radio. They did a version of something, an old classic 70s rock tune. I was like, it was okay, but yeah. I'm not a big fan necessarily of them as a band. So,
obviously, I would not be.
Yeah. Five Finger Death Punch.
No.
I'm not a.
Sounds cool.
I'm not a punchy kind of guy. But no, I have seen Kenny Wayne Shepherd play live when Van Halen played in Dallas in the last. It's been in the last 5 years, I think. Kenny Wayne Shepherd was one of the opening artists for Van Halen, so I saw him live. He's really good.
Awesome.
So, I don't think you can really improve on his version of his song.
I can imagine.
But that's just me. So, yeah, there you go. How many of you guys love you some Five Finger Death Punch? Or not? Ooh. Next question, Just Fun Guitar. New questions. Which is bigger, Texas or Alaska? Great question. What is your most requested song to learn by your students?
Good questions.
Great question. Just Fun Guitar. Well, it's a little known fact that Texas is actually bigger than Alaska. Because there was a conspiracy by Alaskans to promote the myth that Alaska really is the biggest state. And they paid off some of the map people who make the maps, and they just distorted it. You know how it's distorted anyways. Like, America is not really as big on a map
as Africa.
As Africa is. I mean, Africa is huge. America is much smaller. But, the map makers are a bunch of racists, and they make it look like, all the Anglo countries are super huge, and the brown countries are not huge.
He said the brown countries.
Well,
Lord Jesus.
Predominantly brown countries.
And Ryan's not racist either.
I promise. I am not. I love brown people.
So Texas is bigger than Alaska, huh?
Texas is totally bigger. Now, if you look at the map, it does not appear that way. Because there's
square footage of Texas.
There's some shenanigans with the map.
Square acreage of Texas is what? I'm Googling it. I'm pulling it
I don't know, but we got like 26 million people.
Well, I can see that they have less population,
yeah,
but
there's way more people in Texas.
Square miles of Texas.
268,597 square miles.
Yeah, but Alaska is 666.
It's a lie. Alaska is not 663,000 square miles. It is not 3 times bigger than Texas. It's just not.
Okay.
It's a lie. What is your most requested song to learn by your students? Do you have a requested one?
I really don't have a requested one. I have songs that they ask, can we learn this? But not one that's like constantly requested.
Consistent.
We have such a variety of students, and from many ages, many backgrounds, just many types of kiddos. It's just it ranges from, you know, one kid you would think listens to Garth Brooks, listens to Leonard Skinner, or listens to Skid Row or something like that. It's just like, what you listen to who?
What?
So we'll have, like, I'll have some kids ask to sing, especially singers. We'll have some that'll ask to sing songs from Broadway, or they'll ask to learn some. One little girl, she's my ukulele student. She said, "Have you heard of this song?" And I can't think of the name of the artist, but he's like a Christian rapper, a newer Christian rapper who's on the scene right now. And she was like, "I want to learn this song on ukulele." And I'm like, that's nothing but like, you can't learn that on the ukulele. You can't learn that.
There's no chords in the song.
So it just varies. It doesn't have. We don't have
beats and rhymes.
Yeah, it was actually very good. Yeah. I was like, my boys would actually like this. I have to remember who he was, and I forgot. But anyways,
how many famous Christian rappers can there be?
There's not a lot. The only three,
Lecrae. Lecrae is the one that everybody...
Toby Mac, and this one guy. And then there's another guy the boys like, Tadashi.
Tadashi. Was he a Christian?
Yeah, I think so. Huh. Yeah.
I know Lecrae. Lecrae.
Yeah, because Lecrae and Tadashi do a few things together. And, yeah. And this guy and Lecrae do a few things together. But, yeah. No, we don't. I don't personally. I don't know. Do you? What is a common for guitar players?
There's, it's kind of funny because there's really not a lot. It's not like you think every single kid wants to, you know, or I've had 50 kids say they want to play this song. Right. I have had a few. I'm trying to think of the ones that, when has it been more than one? Has there been 2 or 3 kiddos that requested the same thing? Mm-hmm. And Back in Black keeps coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Back in Black.
Lord have mercy.
Because I've had drum students do that, and guitar students. Yeah, because it's a classic guitar song. Mm-hmm. You know, that one that even kids today are like, "Oh, I've heard that. My dad listens to that."
Yeah,
like, oh,
and it hits every group differently. Like, we'll have some kids, and then we won't hear it for a while, and then all of a sudden, the next group are like, how about Back in Black? Yeah. You know, or I hear Ryan. Not in my group of kiddos. I don't get that at all. Not one of my students have ever asked to do Back in Black. It's usually Ryan's, because he has mostly the older kiddos. Yeah. Too. So. Yeah,
I have the little bit older beginning guitarists. Mm-hmm. Enter Sandman has come up once or twice. There's one time a little kid was like, "Mr. Ryan, do you know how to play Enter Sandman?" "Yes, I do." "Can you teach me?" "Yes, I can. Let's do this right now." I was so excited. I was like, "You want to learn what?" "I can help you. You came to the right place, son."
Yeah.
It's just funny, like songs that I learned when I was a kid, like, you know, 1989, 90, 91, 92. Kids are still coming in. "Hey, do you know? Can you teach me this Nirvana song?" "Yes, I can." Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Smells Like Teen Spirit?
Sure.
Smells Like Teen Spirit is still a popular one amongst kids today. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-olds. Smells Like Teen Spirit, you know.
I guess our most requested would be Back in Black.
Back in Black's probably...
It's number one.
Probably number one, yeah. Yeah, I would say it is. And then Thunderstruck.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
Been...
Over the years, we've had Thunderstruck.
Yeah, a couple of times. So.
A couple of times, yeah.
There you go. Just Fun Guitar. Don't believe the Alaskan haters.
Or Google.
Don't believe Google. Google's a bunch of liars, too. Texas is the biggest there it is. Next question. Adam Lynch. I watched your previous video on the string Butler. Did you ever put one on any of your guitars for any length of time? If so, what were your long-term thoughts? Well, Adam, not Lamar Lynch. It just so happens. I did. So the original guitar I put it on was this CMG Ashley. Oh, I don't have the autofocus turned on. My CMG guitars anniversary Ashley. This is the one I put it on to kind of test it. It's not gonna autofocus, but it's right there. I still have it on there. I have not taken it off. I left it on. And thoughts. My thoughts are about the same in that other video. I think it does help a little bit on the tuning stability, especially on your 3rd and 4th strings of your guitar.
Right. Propping my legs up.
Prop them up, girl.
Climbing up in here.
I think it does help a little bit. But, you know, I don't necessarily play that guitar all the time. I have enough guitars that I kind of rotate them out each day or each week or whatever.
Right.
And none of my other guitars, which are mostly all single cuts, Les Paul style guitars, which is kind of what the string Butler is designed for, I really haven't felt the need to go and put another one on any of my other guitars.
Right.
So, you know, does it help? I think it does. A little bit. Maybe if you have a guitar that's particularly, you know, wishy-washy on that G 3rd string, that it's a problem, but, you know, I haven't felt the need to go and replace or put one on all my other single cut guitars. But I think it does help a little bit, but I tend to not necessarily have a lot of problems with that tuning stability anyways. So there you go, Adam. It's still on there. I haven't taken it off, but I also haven't felt the need to go put one on every single guitar that I have. Right. So best thing is, you know, grab one. They're not that expensive, really. I want to say they're maybe, well, maybe they are like $50. So they're not cheap, but
it's not bad.
It's not terrible to try if you have a single cut or a 3-in-3 headstock guitar that you think needs some help with the tuning. Right. But yeah, there you go. That's maybe not a useful answer, but
we'll questions.
See. Yeah. Oh yeah, question 2. Adam Lynch, question 2. I've recently downloaded bias effects to use while I'm on the fire station or at the fire station with earphones, so the guys will stop complaining about the noise when I practice. What are your thoughts on amp modeling software versus authentic tactile amps? Great question, Adam. We've gotten this before. I think they have their place, and I think as the time goes by, the technology gets better and better and better, and a lot of people are using digital modelers to record albums with that. Right. A lot of times now, especially with production and music studio stuff, you almost can't always tell the difference in like a recorded thing. Personally, I'd rather play on a real amplifier, you know, in the room with me. You know, I like that a little bit better. But the modeling stuff is great, particularly for practice situations. Like your situation you're at, you can't really crank up an amp at work, but, you know, you can get some good tones, you know, with a modeler and practice with headphones, and it sound pretty good. So I think they're really useful for that. Right. I do have the Katana 50-watt amp at home, which is a modeler, the Boss Katana 50, and it's, you know, all these modeled sounds. It's a good practice amp. I have it at home by my big desk if I'm going to do a little practicing at home, and, you know, I'm not going to bring one of the half stacks to the house or 3/4 stacks. Angela's not a fan of big, huge tube amps at the casa.
At the house.
At the house. Here at the shop, it's fine. But so it's, for me, like the Katana 50 does, you know, it's a real small footprint. It doesn't take up a lot of room in the house. It's not real noticeable. It's about as big as our paper shredder next to the desk. You know, so it's not like another amp in the way or anything. And it sounds great for my practice needs. Right. I wouldn't record stuff with it probably, but for practicing and rehearsal and stuff, I think they're great. Mm-hmm. I still prefer the feel, the response of, you know, a real tube amp cranked up a little bit. If I had my choice. In a perfect world, that's what I would choose.
Cool. Thanks
for the question, Adam Lynch. Next question. Dale Palmer, the tips for the Iron Man main riff are helpful for playing most riffs. I have noticed everyone seems to have different ways of playing the same songs / riffs. Some even have arguments over it, believe it or not. But is there really a right and wrong way as long as the notes are correct? Hashtag Black Bean Burger.
Oh, but.
Great question, Dale. And that's kind of a thing that's sort of somewhat unique, I think, to the guitar or the bass. Like, you don't run into this problem with piano.
Right.
It's like, the notes are correct. It's like, well, there's only one button for that note on the piano. And as in on the guitar, you can play the same thing in probably 3 different places on the neck. Mm-hmm. You know, your 12th fret, 6th string E is the same pitch as your 7th fret, 5th string E, which is the same pitch as your 4th string, 2nd fret E. They're all, on paper, the same E. Mm-hmm. They're all the same E. Right? And so I think the issue is, on guitar, you can play things in different places. I kind of go back and forth on that because there's a little bit of a difference. You know, if you're playing those notes on the thicker strings, there's a little more resonance and kind of beefiness to the sound of that note that's on a real thick string versus the same note on a thinner string. There is a little bit of difference in the timbre of that note. Things do sound a little more beefier and grindier on those heavier strings.
Right.
But, you know, it kind of depends. I mean, can you really tell the difference if it was a blindfold challenge? Can you, especially if there's a lot of distortion, like hard rock type stuff, you know, can you really hear that difference? Mm-hmm. Maybe some people can, maybe some people can't. I do feel like if you're learning someone else's song, and I tell this to my students, we try to go and find a video of that artist playing their song. I've done this several times. And like, let's figure out where they're playing it. Because I do feel like somebody who wrote the song, if they played it in a certain position on the guitar, they probably meant for it to be played at that position. There was a reason behind why they chose to play it there where they played it. And I think if you're learning someone else's song, trying to do justice to it or pay respect to it or whatever, I always think option number 1 is try to play it where they played it.
Right.
Now, pre-YouTube days, that was really difficult to do.
Right.
And I've learned many songs from the official tab books of the band.
Right.
Where the tablature was wrong. Or that's not where they played it. They played it over here. I'm like, well, I've been playing it this way for 10 years. So now I'm just used to playing it here. And, you know, most people listening wouldn't know the difference. But the only way you would know back in the day is if you actually went and saw the band in concert and you're like, oh man, he's on the 12th fret. Crap. I thought he was on the 7th fret. I've been playing it wrong. Mm-hmm. If you're close enough to see the band's hands.
Right.
So I think first choice should always be try to play it like the artist did, if you can. But, you know, it's not the end of the world if you don't.
As we know it.
Yeah. And then even some artists have found this out with like Smoke on the Water, that you can play it in a couple different positions. And Richie Blackmore, he plays it in different places. Like for like 1 decade, he played it here. Mm-hmm. And then in like, you know, in the 80s, he played it in a different position. It's like, well, it's his freaking song. He can do what he wants. Mm-hmm. If he wants to play it in different places just to change it up. I do what I want. You know, and there's a lot of solos, you know, like if you listen to bands, like if you listen, AC/DC is a great example of, you know, the guitar solo to Back in Black on the recording isn't exactly how Angus plays it live.
Right.
So then it's like, well, geez, do you play it like the live version? Or do you play it like the original recorded version? Mm-hmm. You know, so whether right or wrong, you know, I kind of lean towards however the artist played it on their strings and frets and their choices would be sort of the right way. But at the end of the day, it's just rock and roll. Like, it's not worth getting in an argument and fighting with somebody over it. Like, or getting upset, like, I can't believe that guy. He told me I've been playing it wrong this whole time. I'm like, well, who
cares?
Whatever. It's just rock and roll. It's just rock and roll. Right. So there you go. That's my thoughts on it. You guys, what do you think about it? Is there a right and wrong way? Let us know. Thanks for the question, Dale. Uncle Dale. El Toro Pupo. Stephen Scharf with the next question. Speaking about tacos. Speaking of tacos.
Oh, yeah, because I was eating tacos. Okay, yeah, sure.
We're talking about tacos.
I forget. I've slept a lot since
I've slept at least 7 times since the last Ask RNA. Ryan, would you try a shark taco or shark fin salad? Also, nice job on Iron Man. My favorite song from Black Sabbath is The Wizard. Also a great one. I like The Wizard, too. Ryan, what is your favorite Dimebag Darrell riff? Angela, are you a fan of Natalie Cole or her father? Father. Would I try a shark taco? I would probably try a shark taco.
I think it would be good because shark meat is just different than regular fish meat.
Is it?
Yes.
I think if there was enough cheese on that shark taco...
I've had shark and salad before.
I would not have a shark salad. Because I don't eat any kind of salad.
If he had
let alone
if you had
taco salad. I've had taco salad.
Even if you had a spicy kind of mayonnaise or tartar sauce on it, because you can eat salsa type stuff or
tartar sauce,
French onion dip type.
Pardon me, I sneezed. You were saying about tartar sauce?
Yes. So if he had something that was really, a really good cream sauce and cheese in that, I think you would really like it.
Salad?
No, a taco.
No, taco. I just need meat and cheese. That's all I need.
Yeah. No, I think you'd need some kind of
shark
flavoring.
I would try a shark taco.
Yeah.
Not salad.
I love fish tacos, so.
I'm not a big fish guy. I don't like fish a lot. I've had catfish. I've had a fair bit of catfish in my life, which is not catfish. The best fish.
Cannot stand catfish.
It's like garbage fish.
Ugh.
Garbage
catfish is so gross.
Bottom feeders.
It's just the idea of it to me, and it grosses me out. But yeah, I think you would like it.
I would try the taco, not the salad. What is my favorite Dimebag Darrell riff? Oh man. Wheedly, wheedly, wheedly. That is a really tough one. Because he has so many that are good. One of my favorites really is Revolution Is My Name. I really like that one. I learned probably 90%.
Oh my gosh, you used to play that all the time.
Nonstop. All the time. Revolution Is My Name. I could play about 90% of it. Learned the solos. Even learned the solos, which was cool. I had to practice them. But, I really like that one a lot. So it's up there. Top 5. Cowboys from Hell, of course, is just, it's a killer riff. I like that one. I like the Great Southern Trendkill. So
sure, why not?
Yeah, that one. I like that one a lot too. There's a ton, but probably if I pick up a guitar and someone's play a Dimebag riff, or play a Pantera riff, I'm it's usually Revolution Is My Name or Cowboys from Hell is the first. It's not Walk, which is great, and I learned that song too. But that's a real iconic one, but it's not necessarily a really super challenging one.
Right.
But yeah, so I like Revolution Is My Name from Reinventing the Steel.
Yes.
Album. Not one of their most popular albums, but that particular song.
There's always one song on there.
Yeah.
On anybody's not popular album. You always have that.
That one was super awesome. Angela, are you a fan of Natalie Cole or her father?
Oh yes.
Which one? Both?
I like Natalie Cole. I never really listened to a lot of her songs growing up. She was on the towards the back end of the female vocalists that we listened to growing up. Her dad, Nat Mr. Cole. He we listened to a lot. I think we had or my grandfather, my mom's dad, had a Christmas album of his, an actual record that you play on the record player in the living room, and we listened to him a lot because Grandpa liked that smooth, crooning sounds of the 40s and 50s, and yeah, but we didn't really listen to a lot of their stuff. But yes, I'm a fan. I like them.
You like them?
I do.
You likey.
Yeah, not to the where I'm like, oh my gosh, when I'm in a mood, one of my moods of listening to people sing, for different times of whatever I'm doing, they're not on the list, but I really do like them. Yeah, I should listen to them more.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for the question, Steven.
Yeah.
Next question, 314 J Rock. I have 11s on my acoustic guitar and learning bar chords are hard. Will changing to a lighter gauge change the sound of the guitar? Well, yes, a little bit. Just like we talked about earlier about playing riffs on the low strings versus playing the same riff, same notes on lighter strings. Mm-hmm. There will be a little bit of a sound difference. The notes are the same. If you play a G chord on 10s, it's the G chord, whether it's 10s or 12s or 13s or 11s or whatever. Mm-hmm. What you'll notice is the body is a little bit lacking. Won't be quite as much volume and projection on an acoustic, from like a set of 10s or a set of 9s. Mm-hmm. You just don't have the same depth, of resonance. But that's kind of a trade-off that you just have to make. If you're struggling with the physical side of it, I think that's a fair trade-off. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's going to sound like crap, or it's not, or it's going to, all of a sudden you lose all your sound.
Right.
It's a percentage. There's a little bit of sound loss, I think.
Right.
But the trade-off is now you can actually train your hand to play these chords that you were struggling with, and you can begin to build your strength and stamina on these lighter chords, and you can still play, Mm-hmm. And over time, as your hand strength gets better and you get more strength and endurance and everything, then you can sort of bump your way back up, move back up from 10s to 11s. And then eventually, if you want to, you can work your way up to 12s. I like 11s on acoustic. I've played 12s for years. If I switch to 11s, I'm like, I like them. I don't really notice a difference in sound projection from, like, say, 12s to 11s on acoustic. 12s to 10s, I think there's a noticeable difference in the oomph of it. But, I think it's a fair trade-off when you're trying to build your strength and endurance. So a little bit of a sound difference, but they're like $6. If it's just the worst thing ever, just put some 11s back on.
Right.
That's what I would suggest. Thanks for the question. 314 J Rock.
314.
314 Dr. Wacko Barbie. Do you think music is subjective or objective? Mm-hmm. And is it possible that everyone is as good as Carlos Santana in truth? I've noticed that guitarists who have played for a few years usually think they are way better than they actually are because the first few years are the easiest. What really matters is that you're having fun. What do you think of Fanos guitars? I just remembered that you're a metal dude. Thank you. Hashtag Black Bean Burger.
What?
Is music subjective or objective?
Ooh.
Well, I think it depends. I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I was like, it depends.
Like, I don't think it's subjective in the fact that, let's say you have this Beethoven piano piece.
Yeah.
And someone gets up and plays it note for note correctly. Mm-hmm. I would say that that's pretty good. But if you get up and play it incorrectly or with a lot of wrong notes, I don't think you can say, well, it's just as good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
it's not subject to
it's
the
like,
same.
No, you either played it well or you did not.
Right.
or you could say it was rhythmically accurate.
You can actually be objective and say, that was bad.
Yeah. Now, can music be good or bad, or is it just, can it? And I'm like, no, it can be bad.
Yeah, it can be bad.
Yeah. Particularly like if you have a piece like, like that, a standard piece. It's like,
if someone's performing it.
Yeah, if you're performing it. Now, if you're creating.
Like listening to it, though.
Yeah. Now, if you're like, you're writing a song. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to composing.
Right.
Or writing a song, that might be a little more subjective as to whether your piece of music that you created is good or bad. Right? So I think now that is a little bit more in the that side of things where it's like, well,
right.
It's open to interpretation.
Right.
You know, now. So I think it can be a little bit of both. Is it possible that everyone is as good as Carlos Santana? No. That is not possible. So, because if you have Carlos Santana get up on stage and play one of his songs, and someone else gets up and they can't play his song, they are not as good as Carlos Santana.
Yeah. I don't think everyone, I think everyone is as good as, is it possible that everyone is as good as Carlos Santana in their mind? Yes.
In my mind.
It's a possibility. Yes, it is possible that a lot of people think that they're as good as Carlos Santana in their mind.
Oh, that's 100% possible.
Yes, but if you, in truth, no. Because then you're changing it from subjective to objective. You know.
Is it possible to have the potential to be as good as?
Of course.
You are potentially as good as Carlos.
Everyone has the potential of being. Not everyone.
No, not everyone.
No.
Not everyone.
Because if everyone even had a little bit of the potential, then in some area of their life, there is excellence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you have the potential of being as good as someone who is a professional and a long-running professional, that means somewhere in the area of your life you have something.
Grammy winner.
You have something in your life that you do in excellence. You know, Ryan always says to me that everything you do is art. You know, I have the potential of being very good at something just as good as someone famous. I do have the potential because there's certain areas in my life that I excel in. Same thing with a lot of people. But there are people who don't excel in anything. They're just lazy. They don't want to put in any effort. And even though they might have the potential, but because maybe some potential, but because they don't have anything excellent in their life, they'll never be as good as that area in their life.
Most people don't want to work hard enough to be amazing. And that's just the truth.
And it's sad because you have a lot of people who probably could. Mm-hmm. But, of course, that sometimes depends on their environment.
Yeah. He says, what really matters is that you're having fun. Well, yeah, ultimately, when it comes to music.
At the end of the day.
The only thing that really matters with music is that you're enjoying yourself.
Unless you enjoy hurting people.
Is that a bad thing? To want to hurt people?
Because then it does matter. It's like, but I'm enjoying myself, but you're breaking the law. But I'm enjoying myself.
I think comparisons can be a little bit dangerous and a little bit of a waste of time. Like, you know, if you're so busy comparing yourself to someone else, you're going to be distracted from, distracted from something that's more productive,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Dave Mustaine. It's always like, they can't have an article on it's like, kicked out of Metallica. I'm like, let it go, dude. Let it go. Enjoy the success you've had. Sure, you haven't sold as many records as Metallica, but you've done your own thing, so it's
You're
fine.
Good. You're fine. You've made your millions.
Yeah. Yeah, but they've made more millions. I have to make more millions than them to be justified.
Or as much.
It says, what do you think of Fanos guitars?
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, I had to look them up. I'm like, let me look at them. I'm like, oh, they're very much like they're very similar to Reverend guitars. Remember the Reverend guitars that are kind of retros, 50 kind of.
Ike posted a picture on Instagram. I can't believe I'm the one mentioning you. Oh my gosh.
Ike from Flipside Music in Denver, Colorado, home of the Flipside Blues.
Who is this man?
From the top of Flipside Towers in Denver, Colorado, who sells Reverend guitars. I saw that you liked his thing on Instagram. I was like, what's Angela doing liking guitar pictures? What is this?
Accidentally. No, I'm just kidding. I thought it was somebody else. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I love you. You know I do. Okay. Now I was like, oh, that's cool. It actually is a picture of him in the picture with his stuff. I was like, what? He's actually doing social media with him in the picture?
You should.
So I did. I was like, oh, look at him go.
Yeah. the Fanos, and you saw the Reverends at the Dallas Guitar Show.
Oh, yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
So they're, that's what they reminded me of. They were Reverend-esque.
Yes.
Similar to the Reverends, which is cool, but, wasn't really my thing. When the classic stuff, I prefer, like Les Paul stuff, like Tellies, Strats, Les Pauls. Mm-hmm. So I mean, those are interesting. I like the Reverend stuff though, and I played a few of them. Right. I like the Reverend more than the Fanos. Thanos.
And that was like
Fanos guitars.
Fanos.
Fanos guitars.
Fanos.
I like the Reverends better, but the Fanos remind me of the Reverends.
You remind me of a Reverend.
You remind me of a Reverend.
Mm-hmm.
Reverend Angela.
When you say the Rev, I always think of
the Rev.
Is it Run DMC? Yeah, the
Reverend Run.
Reverend Run DMC.
Not the drummer from Avenged Sevenfold.
No.
Run DMC. That's the real Rev.
That's the real Rev.
Thanks for the question, Dr. Barbie. Next question, Jack the Dynamite. He says, also, is there a way I can get the same sound of a Fender Telecaster but a cheaper alternative than a $1,000 to $600? Like, is there a $200 one that can produce the same sound? Yes. So you can get a Fender Squire Telecaster.
Sure enough.
So Fender makes some Squires. They make some Tellies in that $200 price range that sound like Tellies because they are Tellies. They're just more affordably manufactured overseas.
Sure.
Overseas. I swear it's only Dr. Pepper.
I've heard it both ways.
I've heard it both ways. In China.
You guys are recruiting.
You guys are recruiting. So,
people are like, what?
Yeah, they're like, what are you talking about? Mystery Men.
Look it up.
Mystery Men. Go watch it if you haven't seen it.
Hashtag Mystery Men.
Hashtag Mystery Men. So,
hashtag the spleen.
The spleen. Hashtag spleen.
Oh,
Mystery Men. So yeah, Jack the Dynamite. Fender makes some Squire. They make some sub $300 Tellies.
Yes.
So that'll get you real close in the ballpark. And final questions.
Yay.
Final questions. Sonic Grace. Haha. Fun hanging out with y'all. I'm watching the whole thing. Just have to trust me.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of Stairway to Heaven, do you allow customers to play that song in your store?
No.
LOL. There's a lot of videos going around. Like it's so funny, that now there are other YouTubers.
Sure. Heard both ways.
It's Dr. Pepper, I swear.
Yeah.
YouTubers like making videos playing Stairway, and the employee guy comes up and goes, "Don't play that." I'm like,
oh dear God.
I'm like, Wayne's World.
Why are musicians such dorks?
Yeah. It's still a joke that big time YouTubers can still milk
Wayne's World?
Joke. They're milking the Wayne's World.
Wayne's World is like 30 years old. Like seriously.
Yeah.
It is almost 30 years old.
Shh. Don't remind me. Not only do we allow customers to play Stairway at Arnie Music, we encourage them.
We do.
I'm trying to have a sign made. I've talked about this ever since we opened. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have a sign made that says, more Stairway.
Please.
More Stairway, not no Stairway. Mm-hmm. Stores that have a sign that says no Stairway suck.
Yeah.
They just do. And I stand behind that statement.
Okay, sure. Go for it.
If you go into a store that says more Stairway, that's the store you want to go into. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I've been teaching it to kids, and they're like, "Oh my God, you know this song?" I'm like, "Yes." Do you want to know it? Yes. Like 10-year-old.
That's another one.
10-year-old girls. They're like, "You know how to play Stairway?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
that is hilarious.
Yes. And they're like, "This is a great song." I'm
no,
like,
I've never heard of it.
I know.
Can you play for me on your smartphone?
Yeah.
Your doodad that you have in your hand there, kid.
So no. Stairway is not prohibited. There are actually no prohibited songs, I don't think, at Arnie Music.
There's prohibited language.
Language, yes. Because we do have a lot of children coming in and out for lessons. So please don't swear like a sailor in our music while there's 10-year-old kids here waiting for their piano lesson. I mean, that's just respectful.
Yeah.
There's no kids in here that you know.
I don't know. Because the kids can walk in at any minute. Kids can walk in. Not only that, but my kids are in here and I'm in here. Second, yeah. And when you walk in here and you see a woman anywhere, you should be a gentleman and not have a foul mouth and be respectful.
You would think.
Not only of someone of the opposite sex, but you should have respect for your elders.
Respect your elders, kids.
So, yeah.
It's not the kids that usually come in that are being...
Sometimes. A lot of 20-year-olds are like that when they come in.
I've had...
Dude. And if you do, it's like, drop an F-bomb, can't play Stairway.
No Stairway, denied.
No Stairway, denied.
No F-bombs, denied. I've had more issues with, like, grown men, like 40, 50, 60-year-olds, like, dude.
Yeah, watch your mouth.
There's kids here. Like,
yeah.
You know, would you walk into a kindergarten class and start swearing like a
sailor?
Yeah,
I'm gonna start being really abrupt about that whenever it happens. We're like, hey, stop it! You kiss your mom with that mouth?
You probably do.
She says worse.
She probably does.
She taught me most of them. I believe it.
You know what? And that's kind of funny because I have friends who are swearers.
Yeah.
Like, significantly. But they also know when to turn it off.
Social propriety.
Yeah. You know, it's like, hey, in certain contexts, in certain situations, this is what I do.
Yeah.
When I'm in another situation, this is what I do.
Right.
This is how I, like, I think that's a sign of maturity that, recognize your environment.
It's like Paul.
Paul's like that. The bitter bass man. He knows some words. You know who else knows some words? Ike from Flipside Music. Angela knows words. But she doesn't say them outside of work. You don't say them when the camera's off. Ike from Flipside Music in Denver, Colorado knows a few words.
Yes, he's very eloquent in his words.
He is. And for the most part on video, he reins it in a little bit. Because,
most guys
business,
do. But you have a sense, there's always
when you're at the bar, there's a jam.
When you're hanging out with your friends and you're in your own home. But whenever you know that there are children, women and children around, or your elders, be respectful.
Yeah.
That's just common sense.
Respect. See, that's one thing. Some people understand respect.
Yes. And then people gripe about kids not knowing respect.
Kids don't have any respect these days.
I'm like, I wonder why.
I wonder where they get that from.
I wonder where they learned that.
I don't know. Anyways, I don't know how we got there, but
I don't even know.
We chased a rabbit trail.
We did. We had to say what needed to be said.
I guess somebody needed to hear that.
It needed to be said. That's why.
That's
how I'll take it anyways.
Yeah. All right. Those are all the questions for this week. Friday the 13th.
Dun, dun,
Pretty
dun.
special. We should have.
I'm not
gonna. I was looking at it. Paul's favorite Friday of the year.
It was so cute. Someone posted Friday the 13th. She was like, Happy King Friday the 13th. And it was the puppet from Mr. Rogers because he's King Friday.
Oh.
And he's in his marker of Roman numerals, he's the 13th.
Okay.
And so she had this, and I was like, what is that Mr. Rogers puppet? And I was like, oh, he is King Friday, and he is the 13th. He is like Friday the 13th. King. He's the 13th king. She was like, Happy King Friday the 13th day.
All right.
I thought that was hilarious. I was like, I haven't seen King Friday since I was a kid. But it was so funny.
I didn't see that meme. Show it to me later.
It was nice to see something other than Friday the 13th.
Like a bunch of stabby, murder.
Yes.
Murder.
So it was really cute to see this little puppet. This little...
A happy family-friendly Friday the 13th. Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. It's Mr. Rogers Day. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
We'll change it.
You should send that to Paul.
Yeah, happy Mr. Rogers Day.
Happy Mr. Rogers Day. All right. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have questions for next week, please type them below in the comment section, along with your comments, which we appreciate. Thank you so much. All right, now, to the very special part of the video. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, we got a special secret hashtag of the day for you that if you will type in your comment or your question, that just shows us, and we're on the honor system. We're just trusting you guys, to be honest.
Right.
That you watched this entire video in its full entirety.
Yes. Either
in one sitting or you broke it up in several sittings across a couple of days. That's fine too. That's fine. But if you watched the whole thing, if you'll type out the secret hashtag for us, that kind of lets us know, hey, did you watch the whole thing? And, you know, we'll leave you a little comment that says you're a legend because you watched the whole thing. You are. Legend. You're a freaking legend if you watched this whole video. So what is we have an idea, secret hashtag of the day for today, Friday the 13th?
Hashtag more Stairway.
Hashtag more Stairway. I thought you were going to go stabby, stabby, murder, murder, but...
Yes, exactly.
That's hashtag more Stairway. Yeah, if you watch this entire video, please put hashtag more Stairway in your comment, question, or whatever, and that'll show us that you watched this whole stinking thing, but you enjoyed it. And again, if you want to get an RNA Music shirt, a little swaggity swag, you can go there in the link in the description down there. There's going to be a link to our Teespring store. You can show your support for keeping the music alive.
Don't forget it.
For the kiddos. And yeah, and we'll see y'all in the next video. There's a plethora of vlogs coming as soon as I finish editing them.
Yes.
One of these days. All right.
One of these days.
And we'll see y'all in the next video. Until then, keep the music alive.
Don't forget it.
Music needs you.
And you need the music.
And we need to keep it alive for the next generation. And current generations.
And current generations and all the generations.
And King Fridays.
Yes.
Of all kinds. All right, y'all. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.
So excited.